Okay, reading, outro, and credits. Okay, I think that's it for the first Equestria Girl script. Time to send it out.
Oh, hi. Oh, time to do this. Roll the intro.
My little pony, my little pony. Equestria girls.
Greetings, bronies and Pegasisters alike. Welcome to the very first episode of Equestrian Analysis. I'm your host, Crimson Shield. In this episode, I will be analyzing Equestria Girls. Before we start, I want to let you know that I will be working off the extended version of these episodes. So you might see some scenes that were cut from the original release. And just as a disclaimer, I was extremely happy and excited to watch this episode when I saw it for the first time. So my rating may be a little bit higher than you think this movie deserves. But because I give my ratings off of my first impressions, I don't see any reason to stop now. For this analysis, I will be mixing my original observations watching it for the first time and my later observations after I've watched it a couple times. So for certain scenes, I will react as if it's the first time I'm seeing it. And others, I'll analyze very thoroughly, as this is probably the 10th time I've seen this movie. I will also reference the content based on what it was marketed as. Equestria Girls Movie or Equestria Girls Special. So for this one, it will be movie. So we start off this movie in the Crystal Empire in Equestria. Are we actually given a name for the human world? I'm just gonna call it Earth. If Twilight still isn't accustomed to her wings, I'm guessing this is no more than a week after Magical Mystery Cure. I can hear all of you groaning, and I'll talk about this later. I was really hoping they'd do their little dance here. I love watching it, it's adorable.
Sunshine, sunshine, ladybugs awake. Clap your hooves and do a little shake.
All look tired from your journey. Now off to bed, all of you.
Yeah, Pinky looks exhausted. Can't say I've ever had this problem, but I was born with them. I gotta say, I really love this new remix for the intro. Like it much better than the original one. I'm not saying the original My Little Pony intro is bad, it's just this is more my style of music. This is the part of the intro I never really understood. Why show us this? This kind of spoils what's about to happen. There's no reason to put this here. I mean, the point is to get your viewers to keep watching. Why show us this? Sure, it's intriguing and all, but I would think you'd want to surprise them with that. And we get our first look at Sunset Shimmer. I actually really like her pony design, it looks really cool. A lot of people had problems with this, like how did she know the stuff that she knows here? But if she's as smart as she thinks she is, she probably found a way. And let's face it, she is pretty smart. Have we ever seen anyone other than Twilight teleport before?
I suppose Sunset Shimmer thought you wouldn't notice right away that this was not yours.
That actually makes sense to me. I mean, if she hadn't tripped over Spike, they wouldn't have known until morning, although it's probably morning now. But even then, if Twilight didn't take a close look at the crown, or didn't put it back on, she might not have known if she just glanced at it. There are many times where I saw something wrong because I just glanced at it, or didn't know something was wrong.
I'm so nervous. You do realize that's not a real word, right?
When it's Pinky, you can never be sure. You know, everyone always says that Spike deserves an element of loyalty more than Rainbow Dash, but let's be honest, that loyalty only extends to Twilight. And now we see her as a human for the very first time. You know, she's actually pretty cute as a human. In fact, all the girls are. You know, I didn't notice it the first time, but her arm actually turns back into a hoof when she puts it through. That's a pretty cool little detail. Yeah, after being on 4 legs for most of my life, well, all of my life, 2 legs does take a little bit of getting used to. Yeah, when you're as used to using magic as she is, it's gonna feel pretty weird to not have it. It took me a while to get used to that flying. Oh, she is so cute as a human. Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon. That's one reason I was really excited to see this movie. I really wanted to see people as humans. So anytime I see them here, I'm gonna call them out. I really like little details like that. See the way her hand is? It's like a hoof. Okay, now I reached the first song of this movie.
I've never seen a place that's quite like this. Everything is turned around, this crazy world is upside down. Getting on my feet, it's the hand that I was dealt. But I don't have much time with them, got to learn all that I can. Sorting through the small details of a strange new world. What a strange new world.
Some of you won't remember this song as it was cut from the original release. But as I stated, I'm working off the extended versions. And I actually really like this song. It's exactly how I felt when I first crossed over. Hi Cheerly. So we got Vinyl, Photo Finish, Skulo, Apple Bloom, and Sweetie Belle. And here we get our first look at the human Fluttershy. I should count how many times Twilight does a pony thing. You know, this scene was unneeded, but I really liked it. I thought it was cute.
My name's Twilight. I'm Fluttershy. Sorry, what was that? It's Fluttershy. It sounds like you're saying Fluttershy, but
And it really shows us that these characters are just like their pony counterparts.
this morning I was passing out flyers for the animal shelter like I do every Wednesday.
Oh, that's adorable. Yeah, Fluttershy would do that. I don't know why, but for some reason, I think this Fluttershy is cuter than Pony Fluttershy. You know, on my first day here, I actually did take one of those flyers. Every once in a while, I'll help Fluttershy out at the shelter.
Technically, I guess she and Vice Principal Luna do make the rules.
I'm guessing you all saw how I reacted when I heard there was Luna in this world, so we're just gonna skip this part.
How am I going to explain this to the Principal Celestia and Vice Principal Luna?
Wait, there's a Luna in this world? Okay, this is the first gripe I have with this movie. Those eyes, they just don't work. Sure, they're exactly the same shape as they are on the Pony Celestia, but on a human, it just doesn't look right. They're just very distracting every time I see them, and something just looks wrong about them. I don't know why, but for some reason, Celestia's voice sounds different.
Yes, I've had Vice Principal Luna put it somewhere for safekeeping. No idea how it ended up on the front lawn.
I know it's not, it's the exact same voice actor, it's the exact same voice, but for some reason on a human, it just sounds different. There's a bit of inconsistency with the movies at this point. I know that's supposed to be Granny Smith, but in other movies, she doesn't work at the school and she looks way different.
She'll make life awful for anyone who stands in her way. Just ask the girl who ran against her for Princess of the Spring Fling.
I wish they would have followed up with that later on. I want to know, who is this girl? What happened to her? Okay, there's the CMC again, photo finish, and hello Trixie. When I first saw this movie, I was thinking, okay, who is this gonna be? Maybe Rarity because she can decorate? No, it's Pinky. Of course it's Pinky. What was I thinking? It's a party. Of course it's gonna be Pinky. Of course Pinky would be the head of the planning committee. If there is any doubt, there isn't now. That's definitely Pinkie Pie. I actually missed this the first time I saw the movie.
Do you have a twin sister who lives in the city, has a pet dog named Spike that looks just like that one?
This is our first indication there's a real human Twilight. And now we have Applejack. Oh, and Big Mac.
Rainbow Dash? She's the captain of like every team at Canterlot High.
Yeah, I can definitely see that being true. Did we really need another reason to hate these two?
I want you to follow her. Bring me something I can use just like you did with that last girl who thought she could challenge me.
There's that other girl reference again. I really want to know what happened to her. If I recall correctly, I think this scene was also cut from the original release.
Excuse me. The great and powerful Trixie! Need some peanut butter crackers.
Which is really too bad, because this was an awesome scene. You can never get enough of the great and powerful Trixie. I don't know why, but I love this part.
When you're a younger...
Girls, what are you doing?
We're just seeing how many hits our new music video has gotten.
I wish we could have heard more of the song though. I want to hear the human version of it. I'm not going to mention every scene that was cut just because, to be honest, I don't know what all of them are. I would find this incredibly uncomfortable, but this being Twilight, she's probably thrilled to be sleeping on a bed of books. You know, it's a really good thing that Spike did come with her. And I'm sure she's happy that he's here. And enter Rarity. I actually think this Rarity is prettier than Pony Rarity. Fluttershy is cuter as a human, and Rarity is more pretty as a human. I wonder if being human myself is affecting my perceptions. Did they ever give us a name for this website? I can't read that. It's clearly YouTube.
Didn't you ever ask Rainbow Dash why she didn't show up?
I guess I kind of stopped talking to her at all after that.
Okay, I think to all of us this sounds unreasonable, but I've seen this exact thing happen in high school. I was really surprised to see Mrs. Cake, and later on we see Mr. Cake as well. Okay, I'll mention this now that's really obvious. I'm not a Flash hater. I don't know why Flash gets so much hate. He doesn't deserve it. He's actually a good guy. The only problem is that when he's introduced, he's underdeveloped. He's just brought in as a love interest for Twilight. If he had a little bit more development, maybe he wouldn't be hated so much. Or maybe not. To be honest, and I hate saying this, but I think the main reason he's hated so much is because he's stealing waifu Twilight. I've never viewed Twilight that way, so maybe that's why I don't hate him at all. If it was Fluttershy or Luna, I might feel different. Okay, here we go. My favorite song. Of this movie anyways. Hi Derpy, yeah, I see you. A lot of people really hate on this song because it resolves an issue too quickly, but I really don't care. I love this song.
Generous honesty, laughter, kindness, loyalty. Twilight helped us each to see all that we can be.
Okay, this scene I don't really have an issue with, it's just kind of weird. Did you have to zoom in that closely to her hips? I've never seen that before, not even in a real music video. Hello Luna, you look amazing. No, I may have a problem with your sister's look in terms of her eyes, but you look fine. Now, I really like the way Luna looks in human form. Much more than her sister. And it's not just the eyes. For some reason, there's something I really like about the way Luna looks as a human. And again, the voice sounds different to me.
I am afraid enough damage has been done to the gym that we will have to postpone the dance until tomorrow night. If you will excuse me, I need to let my sister know about this latest development.
Why is that? I know the voice hasn't changed at all. It's still Luna's original voice, but for some reason, it coming out of a human makes it sound different.
What was it gonna do? Not prove your innocence? Wouldn't be much of a Canterlot wonder colt, would I?
See, Flash is a good guy. I don't know why people hate him so much.
You're from an alternate world and you're a pony princess there, and the crown actually has a magical element embedded in it that helps power up other magical elements, and without it, they don't work anymore, and you need them to help protect your magical world. And if you don't get the crown tonight, you'll be stuck in this world, and you won't be able to get back for like a really, really long time.
Usually I would say it's Pinky, don't question it, but that's extreme even for her. How the heck did she know that? They accept that explanation extremely quickly, and I don't know why that is. But I have a theory. I think their elements, loyalty, kindness, generosity, and so on, have bonded them together with Twilight. And that bond forming between the six is why they believe her so quickly. As a magical bond. That's why it works. And here we have song number 2. Or 3, depending on which version you're watching.
It's the only way that things will get better. It's time for us to take a stand. So come on and lend a helping hand.
Like I said, the first song, A Stranger in the World, was not in the original release. I love this so much. It takes 2 guys to carry a table, and then Applejack walks by carrying one all by herself. It's so good. Okay, who is this kid? He's been in the foreground a couple of times, but I can't tell who it is. I assumed it was Featherweight, but then I looked at the cutie mark. That is not Featherweight's cutie mark on his chest. So I have absolutely no idea who this kid could be, or what his pony equivalent is. Wow, girls. Okay, Fluttershy, and Rarity, and Twilight. Those are the best ones. I need to get me a car like that.
Look, I know you said no about going to the fall formal with me, but would you reconsider and at least have one dance?
See, Flash is a good guy. I like his character, but they just never had him do anything. This is another gripe I have about the movie. The dancing looks very awkward and stiff. I'm assuming it's just because these are new models and the animators weren't quite sure what to do with them, because the dancing got much better later on in other movies and specials. I mean, we have Dance Magic. There the dancing looked amazing. I really wasn't sure how this would play out. I mean, oftentimes we see the hero always win, but there have been a number of times also where the enemy has won, and then the hero had to fight back. So I had no idea how this one would play out. So I freaked out when Twilight won.
The princess of this year's fall formal is...
Oh man, it's so awesome!
Twilight Sparkle!
Yes!
This is actually pretty clever of Sunset. She knew by grabbing Spike that Twilight would follow and end up out here. That's why she tells them to let him go. He was just a means to get Twilight out here. I heard a lot of people talking about this scene, and they say Sunset can't really make any threat here because if she swings for the portal, it will just go right through. But I don't believe that was her intent. Look at where she's standing. I think she's actually aiming for the frame. I think she believes that if she just destroys the rest of the statue, that will in turn destroy the portal. It's interesting to think of whether that would work or not. We're not really told much about the portal or how it works, so I can't say one way or another whether that's a good idea. I'm sure we've all heard the term absolute power corrupts absolutely. The show seems to like to explore this. I believe Sunset was not capable or worthy to control the magic of this element. That's why I did this to her. Wow, she's a lot bigger than I thought she was. Okay, here's our biggest part of analysis for this movie. Why did this happen? What caused this? I believe it was the crown itself. Twilight says this.
The magic contained in my element was able to unite with those that helped create it. Together with the crown, they create a power beyond anything you could imagine. But it is a power you don't have the ability to control. The crown may be upon your head, Sunset Shimmer, but you cannot wield it, because you do not possess the most powerful magic of all, the magic of friendship.
We know that the element in the crown is the element of magic, and I believe that crown was able to sense the other elements that it created in the first place. And by sensing those elements, it was able to bond with them, in turn causing this to happen to the girls, a term we now know as pony up. Now that the crown had bonded with these elements, it now knew who its true master was. And as a result of this bonding, Sunset no longer had control over it. I don't know if any of you are like me, but I felt really bad for her here.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't know there was another way.
Despite everything she had done, and how mean she was to everyone, I still felt bad here. You may think this seems like a pretty fast turnaround for my feelings to change, but the show made us all feel bad for Diamond Tiara over the course of one song.
What I need to do to be the pony I wanna be. To be the pony I wanna be.
Again, that dancing just looks awkward. I'm so glad they got better with it. No, I'm very glad that they're willing to forgive her.
I don't know the first thing about friendship. I bet they can teach you. You'll look out for her, won't you?
Of course we will. Although I do expect some sort of apology for last spring's debacle.
Last spring? Again, I need to know what happened here.
And the wings? I've been walking on two legs and picking things up with these. Wings? I'm thrilled that's all I'll be dealing with back in Equestria.
Wonder why she never sought out my help for this. I mean, I have the biggest wings of any Pegasus. They're almost Alicorn size. I could have helped her.
Don't be ridiculous. I don't even know him. He just totally reminds you of a guy you met in the other world who played guitar and was in a band and helped prove he didn't destroy all the decorations for a big dance so you could still run for princess of the big dance and then asked you to dance at that dance? Right? How did you know that? Just a hunch.
Again, it's picky, but how? And there we have it. The end of our first analysis on Equestria Girls. I'm sorry if this video seems more like a review than an actual analysis, but there's not a lot to analyze in this movie. I was doing the best I could. Really, the only part of analysis I could do was at the end, and Twilight pretty much summed it up. Final thoughts, I really do love this movie. Despite some of the problems it had, I really did enjoy it. I think much more than most other people did. As I stated at the beginning, I was in a very good mood and very excited to watch this movie when I saw it for the first time. So I'm going to give it an 8.6 out of 10. I know some of you think that's kind of a high rating for this movie, considering the other movies are better, but I still think it's pretty close to Rainbow Rocks in terms of how much I enjoyed them. But I'm going to stop right there. I'll talk about Rainbow Rocks in the next episode. Well, that's all I got for this episode of Equestrian Analysis. I'm Crimson Shield, thanks for watching.